Hey y'all. So if you're in New York City, you see we got snow showers outside, right? I am not ready for this, and moments away of going out. I have to go out tonight. But why the devil is trying to work against me as of 2 weeks ago up until this week? But the devil didn't win. Glad to say the devil didn't win because I had two important appointments to go to, medical appointments. One of them was to determine my future, and the other one was fine because I always wanted to do the allergy test. I never did an allergy test growing up, so I didn't know what I was really allergic to other than the obvious stuff like shellfish. So I go and book a ride, right? I book a cab ride at this cab service called Kiss. Now, if you're in New York City, you probably know Kiss Car Service. It's supposed to be one of the best car service in all of New York. And as of that day, I would no longer take their service. And I told my social worker this. So I have a medical social worker that works with me on everything. She makes sure I'm good. She makes sure I get all my appointments straight. So I had this very important appointment I could not miss at all. This was going to make or break me, and I was not about to let it break me. So I'm sitting here waiting for my cab to come, and nobody comes. Mind you, my pickup supposed to be at 12:30. So it's 12 o'clock, no one is coming. 12:15 comes, no one comes. So I'm calling the cab service and I'm like, hi, what's going on? Where's my cab driver? So the guy was like, this guy lied to like straight in my motherfucking face, like, oh, the reason why your cab driver, your pickup was canceled is because your health insurance was cut off. I'm like, what are you talking about? My health insurance is fine. It's not cut off. I just reapplied 2 months prior. So every October, you have to reapply. And it's like every 6 months, I could say. So it's like if I don't reapply in May or June, I reapply in October. So I already knew they was lying. So he goes and be a vindictive bitch about the situation, right? And I think it started because I complained about one of their drivers a couple of weeks back about them not coming to pick me up. Because one thing I can't stand is a late driver. My appointment, if it's at 2 o'clock, you got to be here at 1. If my appointment at that time was at 1 o'clock, you have to be here at 12. And the most I would let somebody be late for would be like 10, 20 minutes. Because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, my appointment might not be that far, but it's not that close either. So I like to be early for my appointments. That's everywhere. I'm always early for my appointments, whether it's 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. This guy, he just cuts everything off. So I'm like, if you didn't want me to use your service, you should say that instead of lying to me about my health insurance because I'm way too on top of everything in my life to not know that my health insurance is cut off. So I was like, you know what? It's okay. Don't worry about it. I'll use another cab service. But I ended up taking a bus halfway to my appointment and then jumped into a cab to save money. So I called my social worker's office. Nobody was in the office to help me. I was extremely pissed. My face was fuming. If I swear, if I was lighter, you could see red. So I'm glad I got to speak to my social worker 2 days ago. No, I spoke to her yesterday. Yeah, I spoke to her yesterday afternoon and I explained to her everything that happened. Even with the prior appointment, 2 weeks prior to that appointment. And I told him, I was like, can you believe I got into an argument with a cab driver? Or because he um he was late for picking me up. And then what the reason why he was late pick me up is because he was around the corner from where I lived at. So I'm not telling y'all my streets, but I'm like he was in the next street over from where I lived at. No, And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Then he was telling me, oh, I was sitting at the bus stop. I was admiring the new building that's across the street. I was admiring Pete, like saying like he was looking at everybody and he got caught up in the whole hype about the scenery of the area because he never been over here before. So I'm like, oh, you must be a new cab driver. He was like, no, I've been around for a long time. I just never been in your area. And I'm like, what's so special about my area? So I was like, this is the reason why you're late picking me up. I was like, but do I live over there? Do I live over here? And I told him the building number. You clearly see that my building number was not over there in the next street over. So why the fuck would you even stay over there and get caught up in the view? Your job is not to be caught up in the view of the neighborhood. Your job was to come pick me up. So I made a complaint to his supervisor about the shit. And no, I didn't get no apologies or nothing like that. So I'm like, okay, fuck y'all. I was too excited to curse the asses out because how dare y'all? Y'all sit here and disrespect the customers, blame the customer for not being downstairs sometimes when it comes to picking us up. But y'all are not here. As cab drivers, y'all supposed to pull up first. You don't tell somebody to come downstairs and wait for the cab to get here, especially if it's fucking cold outside. That day was 38 degrees. And I remember that shit like the back of my hand because I can't believe we went from 50 degrees to 38 degrees. Then he gets upset because I went back upstairs. You damn right I did. Because one, you don't know how cold it is outside. Two, I have scoliosis with sciatica. I cannot stand up for that long because my back hurts and it goes down to my leg. He clearly don't know shit about sciatica situation, so he would never know how it feels to have this pain going from your back down to your leg and having to stand up for more than 20 to 30 minutes. Yes, I was standing up for damn near 30, 35 minutes waiting for the damn cab when he told me 10 to 12. So, me trying to be on some chill shit, I say, give me another cab driver. So I gotta wait for another 20 minutes. I went back upstairs. A bitch ain't waiting outside for no extra 20 minutes. So I'm like, you know how funny the fucking devil tries to work you over? They willing to do everything you can. And in this point, this guy was trying to make me late for my appointment. I am so glad. Even when I jumped on the bus and take a cab to there, I was still early. Bottom line, I was 35 minutes early to my appointment. And thank God the universe was in my favor. They was working out things for me because when I got downstairs to catch the bus just approached my bus stop area. And then when I went to go get off the bus to get a cab was just turning around the corner, and before he gets on the highway, he saw me waving, so he came up to me and it was a Uber. I was like, yes. And normally Ubers do not stop on street just to pick you up. You have to schedule them. But this Uber Lyft really, he looked at me. He was like, let me catch her. And I was his first customer of the day. And mind you, it was like almost 12:45. So I'm like, oh yes, it was everything. So see, the devil would never win.